Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. This is Amy, and if you're new, welcome to. This is Book Talk Thursday. Welcome back. We made it to Book Talk Thursday. We made it Thursday. Yay. Thumbs up. It's almost Friday, and yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's put over here. So today on Book Talk Thursday, wanted to go over a couple of book reviews I had for today. That is, I finished these two books, Influencer and Hairpin Bridge. These were really good reads for me. And yeah, I finished them, so we're gonna do a little review. Try not to give spoilers, so I don't have to do that spoiler alert. And then I'm going to be starting on, which I've had this for one of my December reads, and I did a video and I've explained that my December reading was a flop, and but I got this for my January TBR, or I picked it up from my prompts. This is one I chose for January TBR, but it's A Freshly Ground Murder by Tanya Kappas. And she has some cozy little mysteries I've been enjoying. And this one's about a lady who owns a coffee shop, and it's their little dog Pepper. And it's just a shorty. So it shouldn't take that long, but it'll probably take me a couple of nights because, you get tired and fall asleep. Anyway, so that's on the agenda to start tonight, probably. And yeah. How's January going for you? It's going by super fast. It's already January 16th. Um, wow. I don't know what to say about that. It's just last year seemed to go by really fast, and now January, we're already at the middle of January. I don't I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta drink more coffee, I guess, to keep up because it's going by too fast, and I don't think I have enough energy to keep up with January. If this is how 2025 is going to go, oh boy. My birthday's next month at the beginning, so that's going to be a doozy. Um, get older, your mind stays young, your body gets old. Things are not working like you want them to. Oh well, I guess we still read books. How about we do weather update? The weather update. It's been chillier here in the low 60s in Northern California. And let's see, it's 10:20 in the morning, and it's saying it's 48 degrees outside. It's sunny. We're gonna have a couple of cloudy days coming up at Saturday, Sunday, maybe Tuesday morning. But yeah, it says it's gonna be 64 today. Then it's gonna go down to Sunday, 58 is the high, and we have a couple of low 60s in there. Yeah, through this next Wednesday. But it's all sunny skies. Might be some clouds in some. I don't see any rain. Wonder if there's rain in the forecast. Yeah, those fires in LA area are still raging. Still terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I wish. Yeah, when they said, I remember when I seen that thing posted on Facebook about high winds coming into LA before the fire started. I'll have you like a day or two before high winds, and they said dangerous, they said deathly winds or something like that. I was like, what are you talking about? Deathly winds? I mean, it's going to knock somebody over, or, should you not be driving? Well, that deathly winds turned into fire winds, really. They were correct on that, whoever used that term. But anyway, yeah, hopefully these Santa Ana winds will die down. They were getting a hand. There was a one or two fires they put out. I don't remember which one. I think I want to say the Kenneth fire, wherever that's at. They got 100% contained, but then the other big ones, they're not contained, and they were getting a little bit of handle on it when the wind died down. So hopefully the winds get out of there. They could do a better job trying to fight it. But yeah, I don't have any rain for a few weeks. So that's the weather update for Thursday, January 16th, 2025. Okay, here today Oh, I did add to my reading prompts jar I've been starting to use this year. Yesterday, I went ahead and I was looking at reading prompts on Pinterest. That's where I got my other reading prompts. I did not make them up myself. Um, I had in there, so January when I was using the reading prompt jar, I had written out like 124 prompts, and then there was some I drew and I took out because I didn't have anything necessarily to do with those, and so I just took those out. So I took about 4 of them out, so I ended up having like 120, excuse me. And so yesterday I was looking on Pinterest again. I thought, oh, maybe there's some more reading prompts. I'm like, I could get more reading prompts will fit in my jar. It's back over this little jar right here. I didn't bring it over here. It's right here. It has a big old dice on top. But I thought, oh, I can add some more prompts. So I may be adding reading prompts throughout the year into the jar. I am taking, when I pick the prompts, taking them out. I'm not putting them back in. I'm just taking them out and I'm putting them in a little plastic bag. And then at the end of the year, after the year's over with, I'll put them back in the jar. If I like, if they went well, if it's something, you know. But anyway, so I wrote out some more. I found some more reading prompts and I wrote them out. And I probably a guesstimate was I probably got 100 more reading prompts in the jar. So if I had 120, I added another 100. There's like 240 prompts. That's a pretty good mix. Some of them I know are duplicates. There's some I made more duplicates of, like free choice, so it's like a free pick. And I also made a couple more duplicates of one of the prompts that I picked for January was to roll a dice, a 6-sided dice, and pick a book with that many words in the title. So I like that prompt. So I had taken it out. So I actually added a handful more of those because that was a fun one. That's a fun one trying to find, if you get a roll a 6 and you got to find a title with 6 words. That's kind of hard. That's kind of hard to have to pick out if, you know, most of my books I don't think have that many words in the title. But anyway, that being said, we got some more prompts in our reading prompts in our prompt jar that we'll have. We'll do another choose our reads for February coming up at the end of January, I believe. I'm not sure which day. Probably the last week in January. That's what I know. I did add, there's Daisy's popped up. These shelves here, I kind of added a bunch more. These are all these shelves have is books that I have not read and my TBR cart. Um, so kind of rearranged and pulled some more books from in the hallway that I have shelves out there with the books I haven't read and put them in here. I still have books out there that I haven't read, so I'm trying to reorganize my bookshelves a little bit of time. So I might do a video, I don't know, of my bookshelves in here and show you the books I have. So here is like classic literature, um, this classics, and then down below it, you can't see because the bed and Daisy. I have nonfiction like history, and then I have this is all this shelf. There's three shelves. All these shelves are fiction, and the bottom shelf has mainly my Louise Penny and a couple of my Anne Cleves books. But yeah, it's looking really good in here with my bookshelves. Um, Anywho, let's get down and gritty, get down and dirty. Down, well, we don't get it. No, take that back. We're not getting that. We're not doing that. Not on this book talk. No, we're getting down to reading books. And speaking of reading books, I finished these books, and this book, The Influencer, was a very good read. I really enjoyed this read. So this is by Adam Cesare. It's a young adult. It's a thriller. It has some graphic um, things in it. There's a couple of things that involves like an animal, and just in general. But this book starts off literally with a bang. Like I call it. It didn't have a chapter. It was just. I think I want to call it the prologue. Just the beginning, the start of the book does have a content warning. warning. It says this novel contains themes of graphic violence, sexual assault, animal death, drug addiction. Reader direction advice. Yeah, that is true. So yeah, so it starts out with this little prologue of um this situation that happens, and then it goes into the main part of the story. Uh, Two main characters, the uh, antagonist would be Aaron is the bad guy, and the good guy is a girl. The protagonist is what was her name? Crystal. Yeah. So this is about a bunch of a group of high schoolers. It's a young adult. It's a group of high schoolers, and there's a new guy that comes to town, starts school. His name's Aaron, and Crystal belongs to this group. She rides in a carpool with a couple of other of the teens. There's about um, five of them. Yeah, there's five of them that ride this carpool, and they have their own little. They sit at their own table for lunch, and so they're kind of a mixed group of friends. Um, that these friends could probably, you could say, they would mesh in with other groups in the high school, like um sitting at lunch tables, you have this one group, or there's the goth group, or there's a preppy group, or there's the athletic group, or the chess club, or whatever, just different groups like that. But this is kind of a mishmash of, and Crystal's kind of she's a loner. One of the carpool people she rides with, the guy that drives the carpool, he has a van. Everybody makes fun of his van. It's an older van. And his name's Trevor, and there's another guy in the carpool, Paul, and then a girl, this Crystal, and then her, what she considers her best friend, Gail, and then there is, I want to say her name is Harmony. I think it's Harmony. This is the other girl. Anyway, so it's just a mishmash of this group that you would think wouldn't fit together, I guess. But anyway, so they got this new guy at school. And there's something up with him because well, you get his point of view. So it's two points of view. It's Crystal's point of view and Aaron's point of view. So you have that right off. And so you get right off with Aaron's point of view, the type of guy he is. He is a manipulator with a capital M. And Crystal is shy, a loner. She makes YouTube videos, but she doesn't publish them for the public. She just does it for herself, like a video diary for herself. And and she considers Gail, one of the other girls, who is probably like more of a goth girl, I guess, if you describe the type of group she would be in if she wasn't with them. um they get along really well, and then Trevor's a nice guy. He's a driver. It's his car. He's a driver, and he's very mindful of the driving rules and laws of the road. um Yeah, and the other two are just kind of, they're there getting a ride, and they seem to bicker back and forth and whatever. But Aaron comes to the school, and he ends up sitting at their table for lunch and introduces himself. And then Crystal figures out something about him right away, and a secret that he has, and she figures that out. So anyway, the story kind of unfolds from there, and Crystal is getting isolated from this group. Things that start going on, and due to Aaron's manipulation, and yeah, so it just goes from there in the story, and it's just really good. It's a really good story. I really enjoyed it. I watched. I feel like when I read, I watch, but I read Adam Caesar's The Clown in the Cornfield trilogy. In the last year, I finished the third one in December, and I knew this was coming out. This influencer was coming out in October, and I wanted to get that, so it's on loan from the library. So I'm taking that back tomorrow. Um, and Yeah, I really want that. Sounded really good. The influencer. It's not the influencer. But and it was really good. So I gave this 5 stars. I had a really good ride with this. This was you know, right from the beginning, it had me hooked, and that's the kind of thrillers, suspense, that type of thing I like. Is I just need to get the adrenaline pumping like smack right away. You just need to start off with a bang. This literally did, and boy, it was a good ride. I really, really enjoyed it. I probably enjoyed this one more than I did the Clown in the Cornfields. And I liked the last one the best of that one. So this one was even better. So I'm really liking his writing. I like his stories. So far, I've just read those. But yeah, I think I'll continue on with whatever he comes out and try reading. I think he has some other stuff that's out that I'll try. But yeah, the thrillers or the horror ones, I really enjoy his writing and his stories. And that was a good one. Influencer was 5 stars for me. I had a good ride all the way through. Um, yeah, it was good. So it is a thriller. You get surprises. I was thinking it was going one way. Near the end, I thought, "Oh, no." You know, it was certain thing was going to happen, and it kind of took a little turn there, and it didn't do what I expected it to do. So that's always good for me too. But yeah. So, Influencer, Adam Caesar, 5 stars. Good young adult thriller. Um can't say enough about it. And yeah, Influencer, follow him or die. That's what it says right there. That's pretty much the theme of the plot, I guess. And then the next one I read right after that. So that was my number 1 book in January I started, and then this is the number 2 book I started. And this was my first January TBR read, because this one I was just finished. I was wanting to get to. It wasn't necessarily a January pick from my reading prompts. I had already had it. So this was the actual first one for my January reading prompts I picked, and it's the second book I'm reading in the new year. And Hairpin Bridge by Taylor Adams. I hadn't read any Taylor Adams, and I wanted to try it. I did have the first book I got was The Last Word, and I didn't get to that. I had it on my 24 for 2024, excuse me, and I didn't get to it. It's on my TBR cart. Um, and I still have that one. And then I ended up going to this one I got at the Goodwill, and I have another one I got at the library sale or at the Goodwill. And I picked these two up. The other one is No Exit, and I've heard really good things about No Exit from a lot of booktubers. The Last Word, it's been kind of iffy up and down with how people responded to that one. Some people liked it, loved it. Other people did not. They DNF'd it. So yeah, this one I hadn't heard about, but it was published in, because it says it here at the beginning. There's advertisement that says "Don't miss No Exit." Um, so I'm really excited to get to No Exit, and I know there's a movie on, I think it's Hulu, they have from that story. So this was published, it looks like in 2021. So I haven't heard any booktubers talk about this one, but this is my January 1st is my 1 year anniversary for doing a booktube videos, joining booktube. And yeah, so prior to, I was watching some booktubers prior to me starting a channel, but I hadn't heard anything about this one from Taylor Adams, so I wasn't sure. So this one is about there's twin sisters, one twin um one twin has supposedly jumped off a bridge and committed suicide in somewhere in Montana, and she's from her family lives in Seattle, Washington. And the twin sisters come to Montana to figure out what really happened. She believes her sister did not commit suicide, that she was murdered, and that the a sheriff deputy there is the one that did it. And so that's where we start out with this story is and so it has two points of view. It has each twin's point of view. The one twin that comes to find out what really happened that survived is Lena, and the other twin that died, his name is Cambry. Um, and so Lena's trying to find out what happened to her sister Cambry, the truth. She believes the truth is she did not commit suicide and she did not jump off that bridge. that she was murdered and somebody threw her off the bridge. So she's come to confront this deputy, this highway patrol guy. His his name is Ray Civic, um, Corporal Raymond Ray Civic. Okay, so she wants to come and interview him, but her motive is that she's going to prove that he did it. So that's right at the beginning. That's not a spoiler. That's just right. That I mean, that's like right at the beginning. So right at the beginning of the story, what you're getting is that he's the one that's did it, and she's going to prove it. And so then you have these different points of view with Lena and Cambry, and then Lena's also writing on this blog post that she's pre-written this blog about what she's going to do and what she's trying to do and what her goal is, and if if this happens, then this happens, and then she tells her side of the story and what she thinks, and she tells some backstories between her and Cambry. Her and Cambry weren't close, even though they're twins. They weren't close growing up. So there's a little bit about that, and there's also then a viewpoint of Cambry's story. But a lot of that Cambry story is what Lena is talking about or thinking, how Cambry was thinking and what she was doing. So then you basically have those two points of view. But then in the background of this, at the start of this, which is really interesting, I didn't even know think about it when I started reading it until I was reading it and they were talking about some background details that was happening. Well, in Montana, they're in this foresty area road. It's windy and curvy, and they're at this bridge. It's called Hairpin Bridge because it takes I don't think the bridge itself. I think it's on the road to the bridge or whatever. It takes a really sharp turn, like they call it a hairpin. That's how it got named the Hairpin Bridge. But um, so there's a lot of. It's a forest area. It's a wooded area. There's no Wi-Fi signals in this area, so you can't call for help. Any 911s or any kind of use of Wi-Fi stuff, computers, phones, blah blah blah. And in the background, there is a forest fire that has been started and going on. I don't. I don't. It doesn't say if it's arson or if it just started. It just there's a forest fire happening, and so as this story is coming, to the head of the story, the climax of the story. Also, this fire is starting to rage, and the fire is getting closer to this area where this. So basically, they're in this one area this whole time where she's interviewing. She wanted the cop to take her out to this bridge where supposedly her sister committed suicide. And so this is the area that most of the story takes place is, and aside from looking back, from before Cambry died and when they were childhood. But all of Lena's things is mostly taking here where she's confronting this um, patrol officer. And in the background, you have this forest fire happening. So the fire is getting closer. This story is getting to come to a head, and all this stuff is happening. And for me, I thought this was I really, really enjoyed this. This is like this is a contender for this is only the second book I read of the year, and I'm thinking this is going to be one of my, if not the top book I read for the year. I mean, this is a 5-star. I gave this 5 stars. I really enjoyed the ride. It's not that big. It was 338 pages. And man, the only reason I put it down at night is because I was tired and I couldn't read anymore. But so the story's coming to a head and all these things are happening and you think you got it figured out. Well, I think I got it figured out, and then something else kind of takes a twist, or the cop is saying that, oh no, it happened like this, you got it all wrong, this is what really happened. And so then it makes you think, is he telling the truth, is he lying, is she right, what's happening here? I've constantly second guessed myself throughout this story when I think, okay, it's going to go one way. They're making you think that this is happening, and they want you to believe this, but don't doubt yourself, because this is probably the true part of the story and everybody else is lying. But yeah, it takes so we're getting through the story, we're finding out what happened, and then you got these little twists and turns that keep happening. There's this like little twist that happens again, and little so you're like twisted up in knots, like, because it just keeps having little things that change, and then it's like correcting the story more and correcting it more, and then at the end where you think, oh my god, okay, you think it's the end, and then at the very end there's another little turn we take, and I was so excited about the ending, actually. I really, really enjoyed the ending. I was like, yes! Like, I literally did that after I finished this book. But this book, I did not expect this book to be that good of I didn't know, I never read any of his stuff. So this is the first one, and I'm really excited to get to No Exit because I have heard really good things about that one. So I'm hoping that's just as good as this one was. But right now, I'm liking Taylor Adams. I love, love, love this story. Right now, it's my favorite book out of the two I've read. Um, I don't know. It's just so good. The twists and turns, they just kept coming. And it was like a metaphor because the road in this wilderness, Montana, mountainy, the road was twisty and turny. And because there's a couple of incidences where there's a car chase going on these roads, and it's you're going and you're turning, and the roads are turning and twisty, and then the story just happens to be turning and twisty and curvy, and yeah, and then you have this fire coming in the background, and it's getting closer and it's closer, and the story's getting more towards the ending as this fire gets closer. So it was like, oh, okay. And then, there's this fire, and then of course in LA there's these fires going on now. I thought, wow, how weird is that I picked this up, and then there's this like forest fire that's happening in the background. But anyway, I love this book. Hairpin Bridge, one of my faves right now. I can't even, probably last year, this probably would have been in the top 5 of my books if I had read it last year. But yeah, so that is my book reviews for January 16th, Thursday. And I just read the 2 right now. That's all I have. I'm going to start on the cozy coffee one. So I have the Influencer and Hairpin Bridge, both 5 stars. 5 stars. So far, January reading is going really well. Yeah, I have 1, 2, 3. So I've started on the second one, and I'll have 4 more books for January. Hopefully they'll go smoothly. I got a little slow on those ones, but whatever. I'm no pressure to finish them by a certain time. I mean, I want to finish the books I pick in that month and finish them in that month, but I'm not going to beat myself up if I don't get to it. I don't know if I'll roll them over or what. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, so thanks for coming by on Book Talk Thursday. If you cross your fingers and have high hopes, we'll be back here on Tuesday. We might have some more reading updates. I don't know. That book is short. I should be finishing that one at least by this weekend and starting on the one after that. So yeah, you have a good rest of your week and weekend. Stay warm out there if you're having this Arctic chill like we're supposed to be having. They called it an Arctic chill. I don't know. It is cool. But thanks again for coming by, and we'll see you on Tuesday.